Hi everybody, hope you're doing well today. I have my last Christmas in July video. I thought I would throw one more in before the end of July. It is 100 degrees. It's kind of hard to think about Christmas, but IOD has just shown their stockist the 2025 release for Christmas, and so it's definitely put me in a Christmassy mood. Uh, all I can say is wow, wow. They've doubled down, tripled down on all the things that we really, really love. It just always kind of amazes me. It's like, how do they keep doing it? How do they do it? But anyway, that's just right around the corner. So we'll be having more Christmas coming up real soon. But for today, I've got 5 thrift flips. I hope you enjoy these. Uh, they were just things that I thought would be kind of fun to do. I'm going to use some oldie but goodie stuff. I'm going to try and incorporate more kind of old stuff. I know a lot of us that have been using IOD for a while. We have a lot of this stuff lying around, and I want to incorporate it in some of my videos that I do. So I am going to try and do more of that. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video and stay tuned toward the end of the video because I have an announcement about my giveaway and also a future giveaway. So stay tuned for that and enjoy.
All right, project number one. This is something that I picked up at my last thrift haul that I got 90% off. It was originally $12. It's got this weird little heart with these little wires on it. It's got some glue residue. I don't know how they came up with $12 for this, but I got 90% off, so it was cheap enough for me. Anyway, I went ahead and took the backing off of this. It's got this weird, like 5x7 frame thing built into it. It's kind of a strange piece, and I can see why maybe it wasn't super popular because, what do you do with it? But I think you'll be intrigued with what what I do and like it in the end. So anyway, I'm going to go over this whole thing with 2 coats of Champness by Fusion. It's an all-in-one paint, so it should cover up all the lettering, and it's going to go really, really well with some decoupage paper I'm going to be putting on. So now what I'm doing is I am using Italian Ivory, and this is by Paint Couture. It's a mineral paint, all-in-one paint. And I'm only going to do like one light coat. I don't care about full coverage. This is going to just be a background for my decoupage paper. And now that little 5x7 piece, I went ahead and painted the back of it with the Champness, and then the front of it, I'm going to use 2 coats of that Italian Ivory. Now I have taped off the little frame portion of this piece because I'm going to be painting the frame with a completely different color. So I am using Highlander by Fusion. It's an all-in-one paint, and I'm going to go over this 2 coats. I don't, know what was on this frame before. So I like using an all-in-one paint, and Fusion is fantastic for coverage. So it's going to take a couple coats. I didn't tape off the glass, and I'll go fix that up later. And now this is my piece of decoupage paper, and I kind of put it on there to figure out how much I needed to cut out. And I'm using the water method. I'm just getting my paintbrush wet, and I'm going to tear all the way around. This is rice paper. I do have this in stock if you're interested in it. And I'm going to go all the way around, and I want that raw edge. It tends to blend in more when you do that. And we're definitely going to be trying to blend this in. If you notice the blue in the background, that's why I picked that Champness. It goes really well with that. So after I tore it all out, I'm going to go ahead and get it to the size that I need. If it's a little bit big on the sides, then I can definitely sand that off later. but it goes really well on there. It fits pretty well on this board. So I am using Fusion Transfer Gel, Decoupage and Transfer Gel. I'm going to put it all over it. I'm not going to do a starter strip or anything like that. I find with rice paper, you rarely get any wrinkles, and you can just place it down, and it's just so easy to use. Rice paper is just very easy to use. So anyway, I'm going to go over the whole thing with my hand, and I use a plastic baggie to go over it. One thing you don't want to do with rice paper is you don't want to overwork it, because if you do, you can kind of loosen the fibers a little bit. It's very strong, but it's fibrous, and what happens is your hand is coarse, and when you're rubbing over it, if there's any kind of wet material, your decoupage paper, or you mean your decoupage gel or whatever, you can actually loosen the fibers. So after I go over it with the baggie, I always take my heat gun and go over that, and that gets out any bubbles or wrinkles. And now I'm taking a clear coat, and this is by Paint Couture, and this is their satin clear coat, and I'm going to go over the whole thing and just cover the whole thing after we're done. And now I have a stencil. I purchased this on Amazon years ago. If I can find it, I will definitely link it. This whole thing is not going to fit, so I'm trying to decide how I'm going to place it on there. This is like a 5x7 if you're interested frame. So if you do this, I think it would be really hard to do like an 8x10 in something like this. But you could definitely, duplicate this entire project if you just had a 5x7 frame with some boards. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking some salt wash, and I am going to be mixing this with cast iron by Fusion. It's a really great black. It's not a dark black. It's it looks like cast iron. That's all I can tell you. It really does. When it's dry, it looks like cast iron. But I am mixing it with the salt wash, and I'm making a paste. And the reason I do that is whenever I'm stenciling, I find the thicker the medium that I use, the less chance I have of it bleeding through. And also, this is going to give our lettering some texture. So I'm going to go ahead and use a stencil brush. This is the Jamie Ray Vintage stencil brushes. I love their brushes. I do sell those. I have JRV products and stencils, and I have not even had a chance to use very many of them. But anyway, I'm going over the whole thing with this that I can fit on there for now. So now I'm going to lift it off. I had a tiny little spot that I had some bleed through, but it actually works really well. And then I went over the sides a little bit. I'm just taking a wipe and wiping it off. Now I'm taking the top part of that stencil that didn't fit, and I'm going to go ahead and move it down to where I can put this on there. And it says only. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with that and go over it with my stencil brush and my stencil paste that I've made. So I'll go ahead and touch up any spots I need to touch up, and then connect the little lines there so it doesn't look like a stencil. And now I'm going over my piece that we painted and put the decoupage on, and I'm going to go ahead and sand off any of that extra decoupage paper, just going downward motion and getting all that off. I'm going to put the back on and touch up any place I need to. And now I'm taking some of that same champness, and I am going to kind of cut in on that decoupage paper, and just kind of blend it so it looks like it's a painted on piece. And it'll look really like it's basically just a painted on thing when we're done. And now I'm just taking some greenery that I have and I'm trying to make just a little arrangement that I'm going to put on the top. This is just some different pieces that I'm cutting, and then I'm going to take some wire and just wire it all together, just to try and figure out what I want to put on the top. So it's really just hit or miss, keep trying till you get it. And so I decide how I'm going to like it, and of course I put it on with a ton of hot glue. Just glue that on. And now what I'm going to be doing is I am taking Paint Couture's a diamond crystal paste and pearl crystal paste. The diamond crystal paste is see-through. It looks like ice and snow. And the pearl has a little bit of white to it. So I'm going over some of the other pieces of greenery to make them look a little bit more snowy. You can't really tell now. It's just you can kind of tell when they're dry. You really want to get some of this stuff by Christmas, guys, because it's really fun. You're gonna like it. I took some brown sugar glaze and went around the edges just to vintage it up a little. Then I took some metallic wax paste in silver by Pentart. This stuff's really, really good. And I'm going to go all the way around the edges of the frame and all the way around the edges of the whole thing. And I'm showing you how this works. You just write on the glass, and you can, with a dry erase marker, and of course you can just wipe that off and write on anything you want on it, guys. Super easy. We're going to be attaching this dry erase marker with just a long piece of twine that I have and a thumbtack that I nail in. I tie a bow and attach it, and then that's it, guys. That is our project. All right, project number 2. This one's really easy. I picked this up at my 90% off sale. It was $6, so 90% off of that. Uh, this is a teapot, I believe, and it is red and white and has a lot of nice, beautiful little gold on it. And to me, it seems very Christmassy, but we're going to make it more Christmassy. So I'm looking through all of my transfers, and I decide I'm going to use some of Kitschy Christmas. I think I'm out of those. I had some, but y'all bought them up. I do have a few of the others from last year still available. I'm going to clean the whole thing off with alcohol. I use alcohol just about on everything. And of course they taped it together, so there's all that residue from the tape that I had to get off. So I'm taking these pieces from Kitschy Christmas and I'm going to cut some little darts in it to help get around this. I don't know if you can tell, but each one of those little colors, the white and the red, they are each have their own little shape to it. So it's not just rounded. You have to go up and down each little panel there. So it's really easy to transfer on any kind of glassware, even if it's a shape like this. I always start in the middle, and I make sure I hold it with one hand or finger or something, because sometimes it can just slip on you while you're doing it. So you kind of want to have something to keep it in place. And it's super, super easy. And I usually go over it with my fingers just to burnish it down. And I'm going to put basically the same piece on the other side. I'm just trying to make sure that I have it even as far as, the placement, the height, and where it is on the teapot on the other side. So I put the other side on and I burnish it. So now what I'm doing is I am looking at my gilded transfer tinsel, and this is from last Christmas. It has so many beautiful pieces in there, and if you haven't gotten into the gilded transfers, I seriously, y'all need to try them, especially for Christmas. I mean, we all need some tinsel. We all need some. You need some gold, silver, all those beautiful glitter at Christmas, right? So anyway, what I'm going to do is I picked out some pieces that I think I'm going to use on this in several different places. I want to add a little bit of gold. There's already gold on this pot, so I'm thinking I want to go ahead and put some on the lid, and then I want to put some in some other places. So I have to kind of cut a hole to get this to fit, to get it to go around that little spot there. So after I do that, these come off really, really easy, easier than regular transfers. So it's super easy to apply, and the effect is amazing. They are so shiny. And just wait till you see. You'll see the little gold on here. I mean, if you're ever going to use gold, this is Christmas is the time of year to do it. So now I'm going through that same transfer pack tinsel, and I'm going to cut out little pieces. I'm not going to use that whole piece. I'm going to cut out pieces the size that I want. I'm going to put some around the handle. I'm going to put some around the spout. I may have gone too far with the gold, but I think it turns out really cute. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put some here, and then I'm going to kind of measure and get the same size on the other side, and just add some gold everywhere. So after I get all my transfers put on, what I'm going to do is take some Tough Coat Gloss by Fusion, and I am going to go over my entire transfer with this gloss, and I'm going to go just over the edge of the transfer. And what that will do is that will seal in that transfer. It will protect it. It'll allow you to wipe it off. And I always like to do that on my pieces, and you will not be able to see the difference. And it actually makes the transfer high gloss, just like your glass piece when you do that. Anyway, I hope you like it. I think it turned out really pretty. Okay, projects number 3 and 4. I put these together because they're similar, but definitely not the same. So this board thing was $2, and it actually was 90% off, so it was 20 cents. But it was really, I don't, it was crazy. I have a whole bunch of things that I bought from Hobby Lobby that I could have just got, that I didn't have to go through the trouble, but you know, we're doing thrift flips. This was thrifty. So anyway, I put alcohol on here because I am trying to get whatever this thing is off, and the glue that is on here is crazy strong. I don't know what they used. I ended up taking it outside and sanding it, and I still didn't get all the glue off, but it adds to the effect. You'll see later. So now what I'm doing is I am taking Red Wagon by Sweet Pickins Milk Paint, and it's equal parts milk paint to water, and I'm mixing it up because I want it to sit aside for a little bit because we're going to be using it on this piece. Later on, I add a little bit of cherry pie to this, just to kind of lighten up the color a little. And I don't think I show you me doing that, just a little bit. Okay, I have these knobs. These are actually knobs to put on drawers that I got on Amazon, and I'm going to use them for feet in our project. I bet you can tell what we're going to do. We're going to make a riser. So I put them on skewers, and then I put them in that foam so I can paint them. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mix up some basil and in a pickle. These are two. Basil's a little bit dark for me. I'm going to add a little bit of in a pickle to it. I think I go 50-50 on this pretty much. So 50% basil, 50% in a pickle, and then, add equal parts water. And I'm going to mix it up and let it sit for a while. And this is going to turn out to be the color that I want. We are waiting for a shipment of milk paint in, guys. It's taken a little bit. I don't know what's going on, but it should be in any day. And so stock up on your Christmas colors, and then we'll be ordering more as well. But milk paint is great to use if you want that wonderful chippy old look. I don't think anything duplicates it. On this particular project, the glue that was left on that piece is going to actually help. It's going to act like a crackle effect, but you're going to get the crackle from the milk paint too. So there you go. Isn't that a beautiful green? So what I'm going to do to this board before we add the milk paint is I'm going to go over it with a mineral paint that has a primer and a top coat. You could use Fusion. You could use Paint Couture. This is Paint Couture Italian Ivory, and I'm basically using it because I had it out already from our other project. And I'm going to go over the whole thing. You're going to see that it crackles because of the paint, the glue. I mean, whatever that glue was on there, I have no idea. It was unbelievable. I sanded and oh my gosh. And yeah, I have like a whole bunch of these boards that I got from Hobby Lobby. If you guys go there, they had them like 80% off in their wood pile. Yeah, I could have used any of those, but Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and paint these little feet as well. And the reason I'm doing this, I'm painting the back also, is because if you do not seal your wood before you paint it, raw wood, you will not get the crackle and the chippy and all that you want with your milk paint. Because what'll happen is the milk paint will just soak into the wood and you won't get that effect. Now, the reason you're going to see so much on this piece is because of that glue. See, it's already crackling because of that glue. I'm making sure it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to be covering all of this up with this gorgeous green color that we made. Isn't that beautiful Christmas green? So one thing I always do is I will take my heat gun in between coats and I will heat dry it, and that will give me more crackling, more crazing. And like I said, part of the initial crackling on the mineral paint was because of that glue that I couldn't get off. So that's what you're seeing there. But then milk paint crackles too, so we're going to get double the crackle. That's why I just gave up and I quit worrying about the glue because I thought I was just going to add to the effect. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and dry this, and I basically went over it with 2 coats on the front and the back. So now I'm just going to go over my little knobs. we're going to make a riser out of this. And these knobs are great. I like them because they have like that little, I don't know, that extra piece attached to it. If I can find them, I will link them. I bought them quite a long time ago, but I got them on Amazon. I don't remember how many came in a pack, but I've had them a while. Okay, so now we're going to go on to our next project because the way milk paint works is you can't waste it. So I'm going to be using it on this project. This is something that was given to me. It's a little breadboard. It was originally from Hobby Lobby. And I guess it was $11.99 when they originally purchased it, but it was given to me by a friend. And I'm going to tape off the entire back because I want to paint that later, and I don't want the paint that I'm going to use first to get on the back. So we're going to go ahead and just tape it all off, and that will keep me from getting the paint on there. And you see I've got all that extra paint. You don't want, the way milk paint works is it's only good for like an hour maybe after you mix it up. It kind of congeals, so you kind of have to use it. So I had to have this extra paint. So I am going to go ahead and paint this breadboard that I got from my friend. Hey guys, if you do thrift flips, tell your friends because they will be dropping stuff off. I promise you. Anyway, so I go ahead and put that beautiful green on, and of course I'm going to use my heat gun. Now this is not going to crack nearly as much as the as that other piece because I didn't have glue underneath it. I definitely could have put a crackle medium under it and definitely made it crack more. But you're going to see a little bit of cracking and crazing, not a ton. And I also did not seal this wood prior to painting it. If I did, I would have gotten even more. But I'm okay with the amount that I get. I think it turns out just perfect. So what I am drawing now is I have spritzed this with a clear coat. I take clear coat, I put it in a mister bottle, 50% clear coat and 50% water, and I'm spritzing it because we're going to be putting a transfer on this later, and I'm also going to be pouring some oil wax on it, and I don't want it to darken my color too much. So that's a little trick that I have, is that I go ahead and I do that, and it allows me to put my transfer on easily, and also it seals that milk paint, and the added bonus is it's a water-based product, so it'll cause more crackling. Yay. So if you don't want that, don't do that. So now what I'm doing is I am taking out an oldie but goodie. I'm finally going to use these. This is from Candy Cane Cottage. Oh, isn't that beautiful? I think I have a couple of these for sale, guys, and they're not inexpensive. I will tell you that. I bought them retail, not wholesale. So yeah, y'all are paying basically what I paid for it if you want it. This is absolutely, I love this. I have been hoarding this. I have a mind to go get, I think I have 2 of these Candy Cage Cottage. I think I might grab one. If there's one missing from stock, I took it because I love it. I still love it. I just wouldn't use it because I love it. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take this gorgeous little, it's not a truck, it's a car. Right? So cute. Anyway, this is all one piece, so it's not hard to get off. And you can kind of see that sheen. I did the same thing to this that I did with the breadboard. I just take, matter of fact, it's Paint Couture satin, and I mix it 50-50 with water, and I just get a little mister bottle, and I use it for inlays. I use it for stuff like this. But because it's a water-based product, when you put it on over milk paint, it'll actually cause more crazing and crackling. But it also seals the paint so that if you put the oil wax on later, it doesn't change the color. So now what I'm doing is I am taking pieces of crimson This is from last year's release, and I have a few of those as well. Uh, I bought all these. I bought them from a lady from Canada, and anyway, I have a few of those if you're wanting them. And I'm going to go ahead and put some of those pieces of crimson on just as trim. I just kind of cut out some little pieces and I'm going to overlap them. Kind of put them on the corners. I put one underneath the truck, kind of like a, not truck, car, kind of piece of the road. And anyway, just kind of having fun with it. So after I put my transfers on, this is the bottom. Obviously, I didn't paint it twice, but it's okay. It's going to look fine when we're done. I'm going to go ahead and put my feet on. I'm putting Titebond glue and just a dot of hot glue in the middle, just for instant hold. And then I'm going to place this down and put some books on it and let it dry for a couple hours before I get to the next step. This will hold so well, guys. I've never had anything come apart that I put the Titebond glue on. I just, with, wood to wood, I do that. I'm going to go ahead and press those down, and I have these little kind of like Q-tip things. Bought those on Amazon, and they're great for getting that extra glue out of, when you put too much. I always put too much glue on these, and I'm going to go ahead and put all four of them on in the same spot. Uh, they they turned out really cute. I do spritz the back of that breadboard that we had before because we've moved back over to it. I'm going to take this Santa, and this comes from Candy Cane Cottage as well. It really, I have had the Santa and the car for a while. It's like some of the only pieces I have left out of that, and I have been hoarding them. And I'm gonna try to quit hoarding things and use them up and have fun with it, right? Anyway, I love this Santa. So I'm gonna go over him now. I have spritzed this with my sealer, and that helps get your transfer off. You can put transfers on milk paint, but sometimes, depending upon how distressed it is, it can be a little bit harder. As a rule, transfers like glossy, shiny, slick surfaces, the slicker the better. Milk paint is pretty flat. Some chalk paints are pretty flat. It's always better if you seal them. I love using Fusion paint because it has a built-in sealer. So does the Paint Couture mineral paint. So you don't have to do anything to those. You just paint and then put your transfers on. But on milk paint, I tend to put my little concoction of water and clear coat. I do that anyway because I usually put a wax over it. So I don't want it to darken my color. So I'm taking my little leftover pieces that I have. These are going to go a long way. These are, again, from the crimson. And I'm just going to cut out some pieces to put her on the corners just to kind of, I don't know, it just seemed like it needed something. And I had them laying on my desk. So there you go. So after I get all of my transfers on and I burnish them on both pieces, I am going to go ahead and use some Sweet Pickins Milk Paint Dark Oil Wax. If you've watched my channel, I love this stuff. I love it, especially with milk paint. So I'm going to go over the whole thing, and remember I had put that my concoction of the satin clear coat in water, so it's not going to absorb a ton in the paint, but it is going to leave a little bit of a finish, a vintage finish, and it's definitely going to get in all those cracks and crevices, and it's going to darken those up. Remember we had painted it with the white paint, and I'm going to do that on the breadboard, and I'm going to do it also on the riser, and I'm doing the back of the piece as well. I'm going to put it on, and then I'm going to leave it for about 10 minutes to absorb it. I know it looks scary, but yeah. So after about 10 minutes, I come in and I wipe back all of it. This looks really shiny now, but it will dry pretty flat. It has a little bit of a sheen to it when it's dry, but not much. Anyway, I'm going to go over that riser as well, and you're definitely going to see it here. It's going to go into all those little crevices. One thing I will say on your dark oil wax, guys, make sure you shake it really well, because all of the pigment will settle to the bottom. It has a very oily consistency. It is a wax, and it dries super, super hard, and it protects your transfers, but it goes on like oil, as you can kind of see, and all of that sediment sits at the bottom. So you want to make sure you really, really shake that bottle good to get all that beautiful color. And I use an old brush, and what I do is I kind of swirl it to make sure it gets in all those crevices. And now what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and wipe it all off. I put it on the sides, I put it on the back. I'm going to go ahead and do the feet so that the feet match the rest of the piece. It'll absorb into that as well. And again, I did spray everything before I did anything, so it won't change the color dramatically. Now, if you want it to change your color of your milk paint, and you don't want to use a different sealer, you could just put that oil wax straight on, and it'll protect your transfer, it'll protect your piece. So after all of that is dry, I have just some, I think this might be homespun Jubilee fabric. I have so much fabric I can't tell you where I got it, but I think that's what this is. And I also have some antique lace, and I'm just cutting it into strips and making a bow. I just made a little bow, and I put some rusty bells on there with some wire. And now I'm going around the edges, and I'm using a metallic wax. I love this one. This is by Pentart, and this one is it is antique bronze. It's a really cool color when you have something, this is very vintage and very kind of rustic looking, and you want just a little bit of shine to it. So I go over the whole thing. I'm going to do it on the riser as well, and I actually do the sides of the riser. I take a paintbrush and just kind of go over the sides with it, and I'm using my finger everywhere else, just going all the way around. So that's it. Those are our two projects. I think they turned out great. I finally used those two pieces. Now, I'm probably not going to sell these because I can't. I just can't. But I love them. I think they turned out really, really cute.
Okay, guys, we're almost there. We're almost to 10,000. I'm so excited. Anyway, guys, I have a giveaway going on. If you haven't heard, this is what I'm doing. I'm on my March to 10,000 subscribers. I'm almost there. And every video, I give away something and put it in a suitcase. And here's my suitcase, and I'm going to be giving away everything that's in this suitcase. And this is what I'm giving away for this video. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and comment on a video. That's it. That's simple. You can comment on old videos. You can comment on new videos. It doesn't really matter. One comment per video. That's it. For people out of the United States, because of shipping, I can't include you in the giveaway with the things in the suitcase. But what I am doing is I am giving away $25 gift certificates to anybody's name that I draw on the random comment picker when I do this, to anyone outside of the United States. So you can participate too. Make sure that you're a subscriber. A lot of people are commenting, and I go back and I look, and you're not a subscriber. Sometimes YouTube drops people randomly, and so you need to do that. Also, guys, hit the notification bell, because my videos come out very randomly. I'm not consistent at all on days, times, anything. So that's the best way to see when I'm coming out with a new video. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the video. And also, next week, I will have an announcement about another giveaway and a contest that I'm going to do. So be looking for that. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the video.
All right, guys, this is number 5. It's our last one. So this is one of those mugs that you can get from Hobby Lobby. I thrifted this for 90% off, and I also got some of the cookie jars, and I got just a bunch of stuff like that. So this is kind of my test. I'm going to go over this with 2 coats of Paint Couture's 2-in-1 primer. This is going to cover up all of that red. It's going to give us a good base to work on. I could have just used a paint with a primer, but I wanted to be extra sure. So I wanted to make sure that red was definitely covered up, and I also wanted to make sure we had good adhesion. That primer is a really good primer. And then after that, I'm going to use Paint Couture Italian Ivory. It's a beautiful, beautiful white color. I think it lends itself to the vintage look we're going to go for. I'm going to go over that with 2 coats of that. Let that dry. And now what I'm doing is I'm going over the whole thing with the Pentart Fine Line Crackle Part 1. I'm going to make sure I don't put it on too thick. And I have thinned this out since last time I used it. Added a little water to it. It is a water-based product, so you can do that. Anyway, so I went ahead and thinned it out a little, because you don't want it on too thick. If you do put it on too thick, it's hard to dry. I am drying it with my heat gun. The best way to do it is to let it just dry naturally overnight. But I'm doing a video. If you do use your heat gun, make sure you keep it moving. Now I'm putting on part 2. Part 2 is a lot thinner. Make sure that when you put that on, you do not let it puddle or drip. Just make sure you put it on. You need to put enough product on that it cracks, but don't put too much on that it's drippy or puddles. So that's what you need to do. I usually always dry part 2 with my heat gun. Keep that heat gun moving. It causes it to have more crackle. If you do this and you don't see crackle, you either didn't put enough product on, or you maybe need to use your heat gun. So now what I'm doing, after it's all cracked and ready to go, I am taking Pentart, and this is the antique paste in antique gold. Love, love, love this stuff. You have to use a product that is solvent based on it. You cannot use any kind of water based product after you use your fine line crackle, or it'll gum it all up. So I like to take a brush and just kind of like shove it in all those little cracks, kind of going around most of it. I'm just making sure that this goes in there. Now you can use other waxes and paste, but this antique paste is it's thinner. It goes in those fine cracks really well, and I love this antique gold and the gold. It gives it an antique finish, but it gives it just a tiny bit of, oh, I don't know, little bit of Christmassy sparkle. Not a lot. Okay, after you do all that, I take a dry rag, not a baby wipe, because the baby wipes have water in it. No water can touch this after you use fine line crackle. I will take a dry brush and get it out of any cracks. I wipe all of that stuff off except for what's in the cracks. And then I go over it with Pentart glossy varnish. And you have to use a varnish that is solvent based. You cannot use a water based one. And that is super glossy, and it kind of really finishes it all off. Now I'm going to take some greenery. I put some foam from the Dollar Tree in there, and I am basically, I don't know, just putting greenery in there until it looks good. I bought a lot of this before Joann's went out of business. I was very, very lucky. I found my Joann's had a bunch of it on sale. I also bought it online on sale, and I have quite the stash. So anyway, I am going to go ahead and just cut pieces off of these bushes and keep putting them in there till they look good to me. I don't know. I don't have really a system. I just do it till it looks good. So now what I'm doing is I am taking Paint Couture's crystal paste, and I'm using a combination of the diamond crystal paste and the pearl crystal paste. The pearl is kind of white, so it's going to look more like snow. The diamond is see-through. And that's it, guys. I absolutely love this. You're going to be seeing some cookie jars and some other stuff done. Is that not gorgeous or what? Okay, that's it, guys. If you need any of the products that I've shown here, you can get it on my website, rehatchdesigns.com. The link will be in the description. I sell Pentart, Fusion, Paint Couture, IOD, Sweet Pickins Milk Paint, lots of decoupage, and flat rate shipping of $8 under $50. Anything over $50, you get free shipping. And I will be back next week with another video, and I will also be announcing my new little giveaway that we're going to do, and of course adding to the one that we already have going on. If you got some value out of this video, please give me a thumbs up, share, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye-bye.